Let's be honest, your business has a target on its back. In the next few minutes, we're not just going to talk about cyber threats, we're going to build a real survival guide. We'll start with the problem and end with a concrete action plan for 2026. So let's dive right in.
So here's the question you've got to be asking yourself right now, because hackers, well, they're not just going after the huge corporations anymore. Small businesses, mid-sized companies, honestly, everyone is fair game now.
And what does a disaster like this actually cost? Well, the folks at IBM ran the numbers for 2025 and wow, we're talking nearly $5 million. That's the average cost for a single data breach. But you know, it's so much more than just money. It's the lost sales, it's a reputation that's just shattered, and for way too many businesses, it's game over.
So here's our game plan to get you protected. First, we'll understand the threat. Then we'll look at how to build your shield. And we'll wrap up with a clear step-by-step action plan.
Okay, first up, let's get a lay of the land. We need to survey this invisible battlefield. Just how big has this problem really gotten?
Well, the rules of the game have totally changed. Being targeted by a cyber attack, it's not some rare risk anymore. It is the new normal for most of us. 60% of US businesses are now actively being targeted. It's really not a question of if you'll get hit, it's a question of when.
And it's not just that these attacks are more common. They are getting way more aggressive. I mean, ransomware, that's where hackers literally take your entire system hostage. That alone spiked by 73% in 2025. This threat isn't just growing, it's accelerating like crazy.
Okay, I know, numbers are just numbers. They can feel a little abstract, right? So let's make this real. Let's look at what happens when these statistics turn into actual nightmares for real people and real businesses.
Just take a look at these three companies: a manufacturer, a big retail chain, and a small accounting firm. Totally different industries, different kinds of attacks, but they all made the same single fatal mistake. They weren't insured. And the results? They were absolutely catastrophic.
So for XYZ Corp, a manufacturer out in Ohio, the nightmare began with a $5 million ransom demand on their screens. Everything went black, their machines just froze, the business was dead in the water. And because they had no insurance, they had to burn through $2 million of their own cash just to get back online, and they lost some of their biggest clients in the process.
And for ABC Retail, it all started with one employee, one person clicking one bad link in one email. And the result? 500,000 customer credit card numbers and home addresses were just gone, stolen. They ended up facing over $1.7 million in fines and lawsuits, and their sales tanked by 30%. Because trust, once you lose it, is almost impossible to earn back.
This one really hits home. After 2 decades in business, a small accounting firm in Texas was just wiped out. And get this, it was a supply chain attack. That means they weren't even the direct target. Hackers found a weak spot in the software they were using every day. With no insurance to cover the $750,000 in costs, they just had to shut their doors for good.
Okay, I know those stories are grim. They're tough to hear. But here's the good news. That does not have to be your story. So now, let's talk about the solution. Let's talk about the Cyber Insurance Shield. And this is about so much more than just getting a check. This is about having a dedicated recovery team in your corner.
So, what do these policies actually cover? Well, think of it as 2 things. First, it's your financial shield. It covers the ransoms, the legal bills, the income you lose while you're down. But it's also your expert response team, paying for the forensic specialists to rebuild your systems and the PR pros to manage the public crisis.
Now this is super important, so lean in for a second. It's the difference between first-party and third-party coverage. Here's the easiest way to think about it. First-party pays to fix your house after a fire. Third-party pays when your neighbor sues you because the fire spread to their house. You absolutely 100% need both.
A good insurance policy is your safety net. It's your plan B, but your best defense, your plan A, is always going to be a strong wall. And building that wall starts with finding the cracks you already have.
Okay, if you only take one practical tip away from this whole thing, please make it this one. It's called the 3-2-1 rule, and it's just brilliant in its simplicity. You keep 3 total copies of your data. You store them on 2 different types of media, say a local hard drive and also in the cloud. And you make sure one of those copies is kept completely off-site. It's simple, but it is so incredibly powerful. And the difference that one little rule makes, it's just staggering. I mean, with a solid backup plan, a ransomware attack is a massive crisis that you can probably solve in a few days. Without it,
you're looking at months of downtime, or maybe never reopening at all. It's that stark. All right, so you've started to strengthen your walls. Now it's time to choose your armor. But listen, not all policies are created equal, not by a long shot. So let's talk about how to pick the right one.
When you talk to an insurance broker, here's your checklist. This is what you need to have in your back pocket. First, make sure your coverage limit actually matches your yearly revenue. Then, and this is a big one, ask what's excluded. Look for things like social engineering. That's the fancy term for when an employee gets tricked. Insist on the full package. And please, never take the first offer. Get quotes from at least 3 top-rated companies.
Okay, let's land the plane and bring this all home with your action plan. Because the threats we're going to face in 2026 are evolving, and that means your defense has to evolve right along with them. And what's next on the horizon? Oh yeah, it's AI. The experts at Gartner are forecasting a 40% surge in breaches, all powered by AI tools that can write flawless scam emails and hunt for weaknesses in your system 24/7. The threat isn't just growing anymore, it's getting smarter. A lot smarter.
So this is it. This is what it all comes down to. Here is your immediate to-do list. 4 things you can start on today. 1. Assess your risk. You can use the free tools over at csa.gov. 2. Start getting those insurance quotes. 3. Train your team. Run simulations to help them spot the threats. And 4. Go check that your 3-2-1 backup system is actually working. Verify it.
You know, in the end, it really just boils down to this one choice. You can take control, you can build your defenses starting today, or you can wait and let a hacker somewhere decide the fate of your business for you. The playbook is right here. The time to act is now.